welcome to the United Stand. Well, look, a very interesting show. Solskjaer has had an interview with Sky Sports. We'll be going through that. He has basically said expect more inconsistent results ahead. He needs more time. We'll be talking about that. Massive game for Manchester United tomorrow. Paul Pogba back in the Manchester United squad. Very, very big positive on that. We'll also be talking about Haaland. We'll also be talking about Rashford's record, a few other things as well. But I want to start off with what has been a look. The United Stand is a fan channel. I can't move away from that. It doesn't. I'm not a voice for the fans. It says it on my Twitter feed. It must be true. But the United Stand is a voice for the fans, whether you do fan cams, call-ins. It's about fan community. And today, Arsenal Fan TV, I stand with it. Not because I'm an Arsenal fan, but because they are interviewing fans outside the ground afterwards. And a select few Arsenal fans start chanting, "Get out of my club, get out of my club, Arsenal Fan TV, get out of my club." And I don't watch Arsenal Fan TV much. I get on with Robbie. But I stand with football fans. And I've had a lot of people contacting me today saying, you can fuck off as well. Your channel's just as bad. And I'm like, right, okay, can I just dissect this then? Right, you don't like fan channels. Come on, do a fan cam. No, it's embarrassing. You're embarrassing to the club. Right, okay. Why is fan content embarrassing? Because it's an opinion you don't like. Yeah. Well, welcome to the world, mate. We live in a democracy. That's what fan channel is. That's what fan opinion is. It's different. It's not communism. It is fan opinion, and people are going to have different opinions to you. So when you start chanting, "Get out of my club," it isn't your club. Whether you're from the Philippines or whether you were born in Old Trafford, you're no better fan. There is no sign up to be a real United fan. You're all football fans. Everyone's got an opinion. And you know what? You know the best bit of advice I can give you? If you don't like something, don't watch it. I hate the One show on BBC One. I don't watch it. I don't stand outside the BBC saying get it off the BBC One. I just don't watch it because some people do. It's that simple. And the most dangerous thing out of all of this agenda against AFTV has come from another mainstream supplier who are jealous of it. And you idiots who have started chanting get rid of fan channels are basically lapdogs to the mainstream media, which is run by people like Rupert Murdoch, who just want your money. Fan opinion is about fan opinion. Whether you like it or not, it is a good thing. And the best bit of all is, if fan channels are toxic, why? Why are fan channels toxic? Because the clubs, both Arsenal and Manchester United, are run by people who don't support our club and just do it for money. And the performances on the pitch are embarrassing. So why would fans be happy with the situation when our club are run by idiots and the team is not good enough? You look at Liverpool Football Club. Is their fan channel described as toxic? No, because they're lapping up success and they're enjoying it. Fans are a reflection of what is delivered on the pitch, and what is delivered on the pitch is not good enough. Stop fighting amongst yourselves and look at the real problem. And if you don't like it that some people are brave enough to stick up for their club and say it's not acceptable, get in line and shut up. Because if you're going to say that fan channels are toxic, then you are part of the problem, because you are lapping up whatever's coming from the Glazers and whatever's coming from the mainstream media. You are the Pied Piper rats. You are following an agenda. Open your eyes, have your say, but do not start saying that fan channels are toxic when the toxicity is coming from what's happening on the pitch and how we're being run as a football club. If we were winning things and we were playing well, then there wouldn't be any toxicity. It's as simple as that. So that's my statement on that. Also, let me just say this. I will have anybody on this show. Whether you can't stand the United Stand, whether you think Ollie's brilliant, whether you think he's useless, you can go on a fan cam. You can come on a call-in. People are allowed on this show. We don't stop anybody, and we don't start chanting, "You're Ollie in, you're not allowed on the show. You're Ollie out, you're not allowed on the show." That's the brilliance of fan opinion. So I've always said this. United fans attacking United fans is why the Glazers are multi-billionaires and they will never leave this club, because they just sit back there as non-United fans lapping it up, us fighting amongst each other. Ridiculous. I loved Wenger's comments the other day when he said it doesn't take time to change clubs' fortunes, it only takes good decision making, says Dane Summer. Can also just say as well, we might do something amazing tonight. 600,000 subscribers, that could happen while we're live on air, which doesn't normally happen. 599, we are 50 subscribers away from 600,000. So it might happen tonight. If you haven't subscribed, bottom right hand corner, that could change. So keep it going in the live comments. Right, let's get going with the news for Manchester United. And I think the most significant news tonight, to start on a positive, Paul Pogba's back. He's back. Paul Pogba is part of the Manchester United squad. Again, another dividing opinion, but whatever. Deal with it. That's life. It's democracy. If you don't like him, fine. If you do like him, fine. I like him. He's back. Manchester United, we're playing Arsenal on January the 1st. We are 2 points ahead of them at the moment. We have got 9 points to go and get. I don't want to be playing Arsenal with the chance that they can beat us and go above us. Imagine Arsenal being above us on January the 1st. That would be major banter. So we've got to start winning some games. Watford's going to be difficult. Burnley's going to be difficult. Newcastle's going to be difficult. But realistically, if you've got Watford, Newcastle and Burnley, anybody's looking at 9 points. We've got to start taking some points. Pogba being back, people say, will Pogba start? Well, why wouldn't he start? I think he might be on the bench, but why wouldn't he start? If Pogba's fit to be part of the matchday squad, then Pogba's fit to start. Ollie himself said, I don't want to rush him back. Well, you're either an idiot, Ollie, or he's ready. You cannot rush him back, so he must be ready. And if he's ready, you'd play him, because United with Pogba, he's better than United without Pogba. Whether you want him to stay or not, we're better with him. So I hope he plays tomorrow, and it makes us a better team. And you know where I would play him? Ahead of McTominay and Fred. So I'm excited about that. Join us for the watch along. Looking forward to that. Really, really happy that he's back. And look, whether you want him to go or not, I think it's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. Adkinator, thanks for the contribution. I just want to say before you continue, thank you for those comments, Mark. It is about fan opinion. Without us, clubs would not exist, even Oil Rig FC. Well, exactly. You know, people want to suppress fan opinion. That's what it's all about. The mainstream media who started this toxicity against fan channels are jealous, and they want to control it with their multimedia platforms. And fans are the voice. And whether you agree with a fan opinion or not, I still think it's brilliant. When I listen to the fan cams on the United stand, I'll sometimes hear somebody say, Matic was brilliant today. And I'm like, what a load of nonsense. But then I think, this is brilliant. This is somebody having their voice heard in front of thousands of people. It's brilliant. Even if I don't agree with their opinion, it's brilliant what the fan community is doing. Even if I don't always agree, I value your opinions for a diverse view and challenge my own views. Keep it up, says Jan Tab. And exactly, I don't want to get into this. I want to talk into the topical stuff. But I love it when people don't agree with what I say, because it generates thoughts in their head to come up with their own opinion, which is what it's all about. That is what it's all about. That's what we're passionate about. Anyway, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Pogba's back. Brilliant. Pogba's back. I think it's a real positive. I'm very happy about it. Please do smash a like on the video, by the way. I'm going to go to the United Stand website to get these quotes, because we've got an article called More Excuses from Solskjaer. So get on the unitedstand.com, www.unitedstand.com. Loads of articles have gone up today about Angel Gomez leaving, about Leipzig pulling out of a deal for Haaland. But this one is the one I wanted to talk about. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been in the post for a year, as we know, and he's spoken to Sky Sports ahead of the game for Watford, and had these 3 quotes that I want to read out to you. First of all, he said that United fans, he basically said, it's going to take time, as everything does in football. We're such a young team that we're still going to see some inconsistency, but you're not going to see us surrender. You're not going to see that. So Ollie there admitting and saying that you are going to get more bad results, because we are going to be inconsistent. You're still going to see that inconsistency, and we're a young team. Give him time. And then he said that we want to get back into winning ways. We want to lift trophies. We've got 2 fantastic derbies coming up in the Carabao Cup and some very important away games. We've also got the Europa League. So, of course, let's see where we are in May. So there is that hope that we can get some success this season. For me, I think it needs to be a demand and not a hope. We've put ourselves in good situations. We've got to back ourselves to get stuff. I think hope makes failure acceptable. I think demand means let's go get it. And he also said that I never fly off if we're doing well, and I don't really get too down when it's going against us, because it's a fine line there, and there are fine margins between success and not so great results in football. I've heard Ollie say this before. It's interesting that he said it again. I don't agree with this. He has described results and good results and bad results as fine margins many times, and he's done it again. I don't agree with this. I do not agree with this. I think it's weak. I do. And look, I don't want to be saying this, but what I've heard him say about fine margins so many times. I never hear Klopp talk about fine margins. I never hear Pep talk about fine margins. And I never hear Mourinho talk about fine margins. Winners don't talk about fine margins, because winners don't go into games thinking, well, it's a flip of a coin if I win or I lose. They take the coin and they demand that it's a double-headed coin and they flip ahead. That is what winning clubs do. I don't think Sir Alex Ferguson talks about fine margins as well. Ollie keeps talking about fine margins, so he doesn't get too excited when we win and he doesn't get too down when we lose because it's fine margins. That's a mid-table club mentality. I don't get why he keeps talking about that, because he knows what United's all about. He knows United's about winning, and in the first 3 months he never shut up about that's what United are. But this season he talks about fine margins a hell of a lot, and I think that feeds into the first quote that I said about it being a young team and there is going to be some inconsistency, but we're not going to surrender and we're going to keep on fighting, and it's going to take time. And I think, This is new. This is a new story. So this is from his interview with Sky Sports ahead of the Watford game. But a year in, it's interesting that he's still talking about time. He's still talking about youth. He's still talking about inconsistency. Some people will be happy with that. I think there are a lot of United fans that accept it's going to take time. For myself, I'm like, I've got to be honest, it irritates me, because Not because I'm Ollie out, not because I don't realise what a hard job it is. I do. It's a very, very hard job. But I just don't think we need to publicise it as much as it gets publicised. Oh, we need time. We're a growing team. We're going to have more bad results. It's just like, I don't get. I think for me, and this is very personal, and some of you will agree with what's been said, but for me, as somebody who's been managed, I'm not talking about as a footballer, but yeah, as a footballer I've been managed, of course. I've played for teams. But also in my professional working life, I've been managed. And I would not respond to a manager who said to me, look, we're going to be good in the future, but we will have bad days. We're going to fail sometimes. That's fine, because it's all part of the growing process. I wouldn't respond to that. I wouldn't respond to, it's all right to fail because eventually we'll get better. I respond to, no, it's not okay to fail. We've got a good enough team now. We need to be producing results. Some people are different. Some people would be like, oh, the pressure's off a bit. I can relax. I don't have to be nervous. And I accept that. But just like that, some player would respond to that. I think some players won't respond to it. And I think that's why we do get inconsistency. And I think just why, like, some fans do respond to it and go, yeah, it's going to take time. We're going to have some bad results. That's acceptable. Other fans are like, bollocks. We've had 6 years of bad results and inconsistency. Can we start to see some consistency now? And I think the relevant point is, and Zayn Miassi says, long live the United Stand and AFTV, and down with Talk Sport, Simon Jordan, Corbynism and communism. And Luke Valentine says, the hate fans give Pogba is disgraceful. Say if he now wants to build a successful career at our club and these fans are constantly dragging him down. I think Pogba has to go. I think in response to that, I think Pogba has to go, because when people make their minds up about somebody, then they make their minds up about somebody, don't they? That's just the way it is. So yeah, I don't necessarily have a huge. I think Pogba does need to go for his career as well. But just going back to what I was saying before, the interesting thing about time and youth, and it's going to take time, is. And people won't like this, and I don't even like saying it, but I will. There's total hypocrisy in this. There is total hypocrisy in this. How can I was watching Leicester against Man City earlier. 600k, well done, Mark, says Jimbo. Let me just double check. Please do subscribe if you haven't subscribed, bottom right hand corner, because sometimes it doesn't do it quite right. Yeah, you see on my screen it doesn't say 600k. It still says 599,990, so we're still 10 short. So please do subscribe if you're new. I know it's changed to 600 there, but it hasn't changed on my system. So I will hold off for a moment on that, but hopefully we will do it while we're live, which is fantastic. But I was watching Leicester versus Manchester City, and somebody on the live comments, because I was doing a watch along on Mark Goldbridge That's Football, said, have Leicester got a better squad than anyone else in the top 6? And I said, well, if Vardy gets injured, who plays up front? If Maddison gets injured, they've got to play Chowdhury. If one of the defenders gets injured, who plays centre-back? If Ricardo Pereira gets who plays left-back, right-back, goalkeeper? Leicester have got no depth at all. And yet, they are second in the league at Christmas. And yet, Brendan Rodgers has only been there since February. They finished the season really well, and they've started the season really well. He's not been there a year. They're ridiculously consistent, and he's got no squad. And he's not talking about the future, and he's not talking about time, and he has got young players, and they are just getting on with their business. Contrast that with Manchester United. Huge club compared to Leicester. Huge transfer budget compared to Leicester. Huge squad depth compared to Leicester. And yet we, as a football club, keep talking about we're going to have more bad results. It's going to take time. And that's to get to Leicester's level, who've done it in 8 months with no squad and a much smaller club. So you always got to balance anything anybody says. You can it's like the election, isn't it? You can get behind a party that you want to support, and you can forgive their weaknesses and focus on their strengths, and you can look at the rival party and ignore their strengths and focus on their weaknesses. That's just the way things are, and we all want to believe everything that the club say to us because we want our club to be successful. But unfortunately, personally, I'm one of those fans that's just very dubious about this. Give it time. It's going to take time. There's going to be more bad results. We're a young team. We are going to get better. I don't agree with it. I just don't agree with it because we're a young team. Well, David De Gea's in his prime. Harry Maguire's 26, 27. Victor Lindelof's approaching his mid-20s. Luke Shaw's not far off his mid-20s. Wan-Bissaka's early 20s. Fred's mid-20s. McTominay's 23. Rashford's young, early 20s. Rashford's about... Martial's, 22, 23. Dan James is 21. It's a young team, but it's not really that young. And when you look at Ashley Young plays a lot of games. Juan Mata's part of the squad. Matic is part of the squad. There's I think we're being deceived in some ways that it's okay to be shit, we're going to be okay in 2 years. I contrast that with Leicester, and I think, and Chelsea to some extent, and I think, we're still not having the season we're having is not acceptable, is what I'm trying to say. It's not as we're not winning the league. We're not winning the league. I think we all know that we're not going to win the league. But I look at what Leicester and Chelsea are doing, and there's no reason why we can't do it, apart from we're not doing it because the squad's not good enough, the coaching's not good enough, the ownership's not good enough, the fitness department's not good enough, and the recruitment's not good enough. It's 5-star failure as far as I'm concerned at United. But that doesn't mean that I'm in any way Ollie out. I'm Ollie dubious. I think most fans probably are. But we've got a massive opportunity over these next few weeks. And the great thing is, with Pogba back, there are no excuses anymore. Like, Pogba's back. So we've got everybody back. And most clubs are always carrying injuries. So we shouldn't be too excuse-ridden because we've got injuries. But Pogba's back now. Watford, Newcastle, Burnley, Arsenal, FA Cup with Wolves, first leg Man City. It's just a massive 6 weeks for Manchester United with the strongest squad we've got, with a manager that the club want to get behind, with a January transfer window as well. I think, Ollie coming out with excuses, Ollie talking about facts, whichever way you want to look at it, my line would be no more excuses. It's all about this next 6 weeks. There's a transfer window to bring players in if that's what we need to do. Everybody's back fit. Let's see what you're all about. You've got a wide range of games to play. You've got teams at the bottom, mid-table, big cup semi-finals, tough away cup games against Wolves, Arsenal away. Every test you want is coming up over the next 6 weeks. Liverpool, we're playing Liverpool in January as well. The next 6 weeks for United and Ollie are pivotal. And I say bring it on. Let's see. I don't think there's any need to be anything other than hopeful and positive. But let's not talk about it's acceptable to lose these games over the next 6 weeks because in 6 years we're going to be good. Now is the time. This is the strongest squad you've got. We're going to play all sorts of games. There's a January transfer window in there. There's no excuses. And I think that's my statement. There are no excuses over the next 6 weeks. Let's grab it. Let's go for it. Exactly. VAR check on 600k subs. Let's have a quick look while we're looking at it. We've done it. 600,000 subs. We're well over it. Look, Saturday Night Live, not everybody watches the Saturday Night Live show. I think it's a cracking show, and I think you should watch every United Stand show. 8 o'clock every night we're live, so subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. 600,000 subscribers for everybody who's watching. We thought we might do it by New Year, then we hoped we might do it by Christmas. We've done it with 3 days to spare, so congratulations to you. And look, we hit 500,000 subscribers in the summer, and I'll say the same as I've said before. You are the fan channel, you are the fan community. And we started a website 2 days ago. That's doing fantastic. We've got the YouTube, the Twitter, the Instagram, but the community just keeps growing. And with us growing, the voice gets bigger. And as long as that voice never wanders off into dictatorship, that we always address everything, that we've always got people talking about everything, then you are achieving. That's what this channel does. That's what this community does. So well done to all of you. Seriously, have a pat on the back, because without every single one of you, this channel wouldn't be what it is, and it keeps going from strength to strength. But 600,000 subscribers on a live show, it's a special feeling. So enjoy it, and thank you, everybody. Going to be interesting where he plays Pogba. Hopefully he puts him in the more attacking role with Fred box to box and McTominay at CDM, says Jay Singh. I'm not convinced he'll do that, Jay, but I'm excited to see. Alison Moodley, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Yep, you can join the United Stand Members Club. Support the channel. There's a join button. Get a little badge next to your name. Thank you for joining. I can accept a rebuild of words, says Humi, if I saw progression, if I saw something over the horizon. Fans bought me into rebuild if top 4 this season, an improvement. However, no one thought top 6 to 8 as a rebuild. I think that's true. That's true from Humi. And I think that that's why the next 6 weeks are so important. Big time, next 6 weeks. Let's see what we can do. I think the door to top 4 is open, and it's more achievable than it was a year ago. When Ollie took over a year ago, we were double points off top 4. We're not that far off top 4. We've got 3 winnable games, 4 if you count Arsenal. We've got Carabao. We can beat Man City. Why not? We've done it before. We can beat Wolves away from home. We haven't really done that for a long time, but we can do all these things. That's progress. That's something you can buy into. So let's see what's going to happen. Ollie first said he wanted to play possession and front foot football. He inherited a counter-attacking team but has no idea how to coach the team to the way he wants to play. So we are a counter-attack team, says K.E. Boo. And Zayn Miasi, Mark, I'm ordering some cigars and strippers to celebrate the 600k. Crack on, mates, crack on. And Mark, do you think because Fred and McTominay started playing well, the business club don't want to sign anyone? Love the Saturday show, says Saeed Zayn. And Alison Moodley, thanks for the contribution. I think the business side of the club don't want to sign anyone if they don't have to, because it's just money in the bank, isn't it? Humi says, counter-attack football is dead brand football. The current top 4 all play progressive attacking football. It says a lot. Play to win and you reap the rewards. Football has changed over the last 3 to 4 years. And congratulations on 600k. If Pogba leaves, fine, but I just know we won't replace him and it's worrying, says K Banks, which I think is a fair point. Counter-attacking football has been around since I started watching football. Counter-attacking football has basically been given a name that makes it sound okay. In certain situations, you've got to play counter-attacking football. I remember England playing against Portugal in 2006 when Rooney got sent off, and you've got Gary Neville and Ashley Cole at fullbacks against Ronaldo and Figo. And that was counter-attacking football because they were attacking us. We only had 10 men. So that's all you can do. It's counter-attacking football essentially is backs to the wall. You're better than us and we're going to try and suck you in and hit you on the break, but you're going to have more of the ball and more shots. We're just going to try and be clinical. That's what counter-attacking football is. Effectively, counter-attacking football for a top 6 team is cowardly football. If you're Burnley or you are Villa or you are Brighton, then counter-attacking football is totally noble because you're a small club going against big clubs. It's David against Goliath. If you're Manchester United and you're playing counter-attacking football, it's cowardice. For a club of our size to be playing counter-attacking football is cowardly. You have all the ball, you have all the shots, and we're going to try and catch you out when you're attacking. Now and again it's okay. Sir Alex Ferguson used to do it against Arsenal now and again, but when that's your plan A, it's got no longevity. It's not going to win you titles, to be honest with you. Strippers and cigars. I'm going to get over to Zane's. Mark, you bring the hobnobs. Says who? I'll bring the slippers and the hobnobs. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. I just want to say this as well. This is very important. Daley Blind, I think he fainted or had to come off last week for Ajax. Didn't play at the weekend. There was some concerns about his heart. He's been diagnosed with a heart condition. He himself has said that he hopes to have some tests and get back playing. It didn't work out at Manchester United in the way we wanted it, but he was a model professional. He's a talented player and he can read the game really well. I always felt with Daley Blind, if he had another yard of pace, he would have been one of the world's best players. He's a good footballer. I think he would have suited Barcelona. I think he would have suited Serie A, and he does a great job for Ajax. I think the Premier League, just that lack of pace sometimes cost him, but wonderful effort, read the game superbly well, very intelligent player, and came across as a really model professional for Manchester United. So on behalf of me, and I would assume the whole of the United stand, thoughts going out to Daley Blind, and I hope he gets back on the pitch, because once United, always United, and I hope you get back playing soon. As a City fan, I'm jealous of your channel. Such a great channel, says Reliable Football Highlights. Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to do it, mate, because you ain't got no fans, in the nicest possible way. Also want to talk about Rashford. This was quite an interesting point, actually, on a positive. Marcus Rashford's had more shots on goal than any other player in the Premier League this season. There's been 17 games, some of them have played 18, but Marcus Rashford's had more shots on goal. I think it's 57 than anybody else in the Premier League this season, which is interesting when we think that we don't create chances. But he's got 17 goals from... He's got 10 goals in the Premier League from 17 games. But I was looking into this in a little bit more depth, and Rashford has started to score a lot more of his goals since he's gone to the left wing. Anthony Martial has had half the amount of shots that Rashford's had, but Martial's hardly ever played on the left wing this season. He's always been up front. So that to me suggests that United actually aren't creating many chances, and Rashford's probably having a lot of shots, as we know, from long distance. But when he gets the decent chances, he takes them. But interesting for me, I think Marcus Rashford's one of the form players in Europe at the moment. He's absolutely on fire, and hopefully we can get him involved more, and Martial involved more with Pogba back. Jordan Such says Sheffield United are 5th as it stands. I'm right in saying they came up from the Championship last season, whilst Ollie managing a United team in 8th says give it time. How long do you need to beat Bournemouth and Newcastle? I tell you what, Jordan, I cannot say anything other than you're absolutely spot on. I can't. I use the example of Leicester. Sheffield United are 5th in the Premier League, comfortably ahead of us. Championship team. Nobody can really name more than 2 or 3 of their players, and they are winning week in, week out in the Premier League. And no one's talking about time with them. You're right. I can't say anything more than that. Humi says there is no excuses tomorrow. 1 win in 17 games, 9 goals, 9 points off safety. Sorry, if they do not get 3 points tomorrow, it's a joke. No matter how we digest it and think we are awful at times. I really hope we're going to win tomorrow. I really hope with Pogba back, it's Christmas time. You don't want to be not getting a result against Watford with that in your head over Christmas. We need a win tomorrow. I'm not predicting a win because everyone says when I predict wins in these games we don't win, so I'm predicting a draw. But I'm thinking it's going to be a win. I'm not really. I think it's a draw. But I wouldn't be surprised if we win tomorrow. Let's put it that way. And we've got to win. Humi's right. We've got to win tomorrow. There aren't any excuses. If you can't beat Watford, you become a mid-table team, and many United fans actually think that's what we are. We're 8th in the league now, so we've got to win tomorrow. I mean, bloody hell! If you can't keep staying within 3 points of Arsenal, who are a banter club, we've got to start doing something, and we've got to win tomorrow. Also, want to just mention about Angel Gomez. Sort of touched on this a little bit before. It is looking more and more like he's going to go to Barcelona. He can start talking to clubs outside of England on January the 1st. United reported to have offered him numerous contracts, but sources are saying that they're nowhere near what he wants. I just think it's a big, big, big mistake by Manchester United again. I do. I think that we've seen this so many times. I'm not going to repeat it, but we are terrible at renewals of contracts, whether it's star players like Martial and De Gea, whether it's older players like Young and Jones, or whether it's young players like Pogba in the past who left, or people like Gomez and Chong now. We let these contracts run down, and the more you do it, the more you're going to lose players. Herrera went for nothing. He was a £30 million player. He went for nothing, and he was an important player. We've got to stop doing this. But again, people talk about toxicity in the fan base. These are facts coming out of the club. Like, why should you be happy about this? If Angel Gomez goes to Barcelona, he ain't going to Barcelona B. He's not going to Barcelona from, I think they've got a team called Barcelona in bloody Venezuela or something. He's going to Nou Camp, Barcelona, if he goes there. If Chong goes to Juventus, he's going to Italy Juventus. Like, we're not losing these players to wander off to Swansea. They're going to go to big clubs. Why are we letting their... there is no justification... What I'm trying to say is there's no justification for not giving them the contracts to make them stay if teams like Barcelona and Juventus are going to take them. Like, if those teams want them, they're good players. Why are they being allowed to walk out the door? Because we won't be held to ransom. What a load of nonsense. We won't be held to ransom is a load of nonsense. What the bottom line is, you don't want to eat into your profits, do you? That's what it's all about. It's nothing to do with we won't be taken for a ride when, I'm not going to pay 60 million for Bruno Fernandes because we only want to pay 40. We won't be held to ransom. No. You want that 20 million in your bonus at the end of the year. Don't try and treat us for fools. So the reason Gomez and Chong are going to go is because you won't pay them what they want. And they're going to go to clubs like Barcelona and Juventus. Idiots. Absolute idiots. And like I say, if they were going to be going to Lille or something like that, I'd go, well, maybe they'll come back and haunt us. But if they're off to bloody Barcelona and Juventus, we're going to end up with egg on our face, probably. Gomez will be Pogba Part 2 and will be back in United for 100 million to Zilla United. Well, I think Gomez could go and be a great player. I really do. I really, really do. The banker and the problems are the problems, says Stephen Diak. I agree. Give him time, give him time. I'm going to need a lot more wine, says Shafir. Apparently Liverpool won the World Club competition. I think someone from Manchester wearing red has already done that first. It's a philosophy. The higher-ups think youngsters want to play for us and will sign just for the privilege of the red shirt. The whole mentality is wrong. We believe we are bigger than we are, says Humi. Yeah, and you can throw nonsense onto that argument straight away because I've heard Ollie say that. I've heard Woodward say that. We want the right player at the right age with the right mentality to come to Manchester United and want to better themselves. But on the other hand, you've got United young players who've been here there all their lives basically who are going to leave. All right, so how does that work then? We're going to sign some young player that wants to come to our club and they've got the right mentality, but there's young talent in our club who don't want to stay. Hypocrisy. We gave new contracts to Jones, Mata, Young and let young talent go. Why, says Mick Wayne. Well, again, hypocrisy, mate, Mick. Absolutely hypocrisy. You give Mata a 3-year contract, well, a 2-year contract with an extra year when he's been finished for 18 months. You give Phil Jones a 5-year contract when he's useless, but you don't give contracts to Angel Gomez. But we're all about the future. But this isn't on Ollie. This is on Woodward. Mark, Bayern wanted Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea and they gave him a contract to stop him. That's the board acting and ours is a bunch of mugs, says Vedant. Yeah, well, United will let Gomez walk because they won't be held to ransom. The thing is, if you don't learn from your mistakes, you keep making mistakes. Paul Pogba, we made a stance. Paul Pogba, when did Pogba go to Juventus? 6 years ago? Must have been about 6 years ago. We let him go. He went for nothing. He went to Juventus. We bought him back for 90 million. We made a stand with Paul Pogba and it backfired big time and it cost us 90 million. If we let Gomez go, because we're making a stand again, why are we making the same mistake? Are we not learning from the mistakes of the past? Now, I'm not saying Gomez is going to go and be one of the best players in the world, but he might be. So how about you don't make the same mistake again? But hey-ho, we're going to make the same mistake again because we keep making the same mistakes because we think we're clever. Manchester United Football Club think they're clever. They think that the people running it are clever. They think that they know football. We're not. We're massively, massively inexperienced in that club. Woodward's not a football man. Thinks he is. Solskjaer's doing his best, but he is inexperienced, as is all his coaching staff. So we are making mistakes in our quest to be successful. Some players' contracts run out next year, which is exciting and fun getting new players in, says that guy. Okay. Pogba and Greenwood will come in for the last 30 minutes as Bab Academy. Well, I would play Greenwood tomorrow if I was you. If I was me. If I was manager. I don't want Gomez to leave, one of my favourite players at the club. However, if he goes, I'd rather see him at Leipzig, where he'll be given chances as MUFC for life. And our board just keep kicking themselves in the nuts over and over again. Very sad, says Jeff Hepner. They won't listen though, they're just arrogant. They're arrogant, they think they know better than everybody else, and they do keep making the same mistakes again. And one of the funny things I found about the board was that this last few months, they basically, their statement has been, we're doing it right now. Like, oh, okay, you're now doing it right. Like, they think that what they're doing now is the right way. And it's almost an acknowledgement that the last 6 years they've got it wrong, but this time it's right. We've got it wrong for 6 years, but this time we're getting it right. Oh, it's okay, we'll trust you. You've not got it wrong. You know, it doesn't matter that you got it wrong for 6 years. We're going to trust you this time. I don't trust them. I don't trust them until proved otherwise. You all expect miracles. 1 year, Fergie needed 5, says Yip Man. Give him time, give him time. I believe we should just let Chong leave and keep Gomez, says Xcraft01. I'm not confident, if you're asking me now, that we'll keep either player. I think what will happen is, and the way it works is this, Manchester United may as well treat Gomez and Chong as not their players. And this is the problem where the mentality goes. United treat them as their players and they're like, we're not going to pay you any more. But what will happen is Barcelona and Juventus will go, well, they're worth, even at their age now with not much talent, you know, not much experience, they're probably worth 5 to 10 million. We're getting them for free, which means we can give them a bit of a bulk in their contract. So Barcelona and Juventus will offer them good better money than us. United need to change their mindset because they've dithered so long. They almost need to say Gomez and Chong aren't United players. We've got to pay them the wage that Barcelona and Juventus are going to offer them. Otherwise, we lose them. But United never seem to be able to get the mindset of that because it happened with Herrera. PSG were going to offer Herrera more money than we were. And we were like, well, we're not increasing it. But it's not really about increasing it when you've let the contract run down. It's over. They're not really a United player anymore. You either pay them as much as the other club's going to pay them or you're fucked up. And that's as simple as that. And United do fuck up. And I agree with Dylan Gibbons. I don't think that Angel Gomez has been given anywhere near enough opportunities, if I'm honest. Especially when you look at Pereira, Mata and Lingard this season in that number 10 position have been abysmal. All three of them. Director of football is needed very badly, Michael Jones, yeah. Please do smash a like on the video. We're nearly at 1,000 likes and we've hit 600,000 today, which is amazing. We've done it early. So thank you to all of you in building out the channel and the community. It's a catch-22 with Gomez and Chong. You can't offer more than 65k per week for a player without first-team experience, says Charles Hobbs. Well, no, you can't, Charles, but you have to, because if that's what Barcelona are going to pay them, you either do it or you don't. And you can't lick your lips and say, lick your wounds and say, well, we tried. You didn't try. They should have renewed his contract a year ago, when he probably would have signed a contract for 40k. But because you've left it to the last minute, they know they're free in January and they're going to get good offers. It's just bad negotiating. It's bad negotiating. I can see some people saying Pogba get out. It's going to be interesting with Pogba how it develops. I mean, I'm happy to have him back. He makes us stronger. I think he needs to go in the summer. I think the worst thing we can do is give him a new contract because you're rewarding inconsistency. I also don't think we're ever going to get past this divide of fans that like him and don't like him. So it's not good for him. It's not good for us. So I just want to see Pogba back in a United shirt for the rest of this season, helping us to achieve whatever it is we want to achieve. And then he goes in the summer and we rebuild that midfield properly like we should have done last summer. Joel Lesson says, imagine Bruno and Ziyech and Pogba as 2-3-8s in a 4-3-3. I don't ever see United signing Bruno Fernandes. All I can say is what I said earlier on when I was doing That's Football is I actually hope that Bruno Fernandes comes to Liverpool or Man City or Spurs and tears this league up because United should have bought him. They should have bought him. He would have been perfect for us. And I just want to be proven how stupid United and how bad United's recruitment is because Fabinho was a player on this channel that we spoke about 3 years before he went to Liverpool and said he'd be perfect for us. I don't think we ever went for him, to be fair, but it just shows how crap our recruitment is that we didn't. because he would have been perfect for what we need. We spoke about Lozano 3 years ago when he was playing in Mexico. He's been to PSV and now he's at Napoli since then. He would have enhanced us massively. And we're football fans talking about cheap signings that would improve us before they become good elsewhere. Lozano and Fabinho were probably available when we started talking about them for 40 million, like 20 million each. And our Manchester United's huge recruitment department that gets paid loads of money can't do what you're doing on a United fan channel. They can't identify talent that can come into this club cheap and make us better. Ridiculous. So I hope that Bruno Fernandes does go to the Premier League and absolutely tears it up, so we can absolutely say yet again how crap United's recruitment is. Because it is. It is. It's not good enough. They just do not know what they're looking at. How wrong were we about McTominay, says Daniel James. Well, I don't think we're wrong about McTominay. I've got to be honest. I don't think we were wrong. I think what was said about Scott McTominay is that, and I said myself, I think he'll end up playing for Preston North End. And that was based on what we saw in a first team shirt. There was about a year of McTominay where it was like, I don't get what he's all about. In relation to McTominay, it's only really this season where we're seeing what he's all about. And I'll put my hand up and say, Mourinho, Sir Alex, Carrick, everyone who was talking about him saying he's a good player, well, he was obviously doing that in training, and it's obviously took him some time to do it on the pitch. So I don't regret what I said about McTominay. It was based on what we were seeing week in, week out. And what I don't like are hypocrites and flip-flops who pretend that they predicted the future when they were talking the same as everybody else. I hold my hand up and say I didn't get what McTominay was all about, but that was because he wasn't doing anything in a shirt. This season, and I predicted it in the summer actually, you can go back, I said I've got a feeling McTominay's going to have a big season. But it's this season where McTominay's shown what he's all about. And we are the better for it. We are. Moyes could have signed Saul Niguez for 8.5 million apparently. Is the game televised tomorrow, says Fearless Offend? It is. I think every United game till New Year is televised now because tomorrow's on the telly. Burnley's definitely on the telly next Saturday night because it's an 8 o'clock kickoff. And Boxing Day, all the games are on Amazon, I think, again. So yeah, it definitely is. Anyway, look, thanks everyone for watching. I could chat to you all night. I don't intend to. It's Christmas and I'm sure you've got things you want to do. We are live tomorrow. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff, so we'll be live at 1 o'clock with the team news all the way through. Massive game for United. Watford away. Why is it a massive game? Because it is. It just is. And I'm very excited about it. And will we see Paul Pogba in that team? Join me live at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. 600k. All I can say is we keep going bigger and bigger, and we'll do it together. This channel is, I don't care what people say about fan opinion. It is important as long as it's diverse and as long as it covers all the bases, and we always give people the opportunity to do that, and we'll keep doing it. It's not about being a voice for the fans, it's about giving fans a voice. That's what it is. Thanks everyone. Wherever you are in the world, there is no such thing as a better fan or a top red or a real fan. If you support Manchester United or whatever club you support, you're a fan of football, and nobody should be shouting you down telling you your opinion doesn't matter. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all soon.